I don't even know like what I would want to change with MLR if that was the topic.
think I'm the same. I've been a little, I mean, I've been a little like divorced from the community for a little bit just because I've been trying to do other stuff, but it seems pretty okay.
I
Seems like it's
think
Our,
working.
this
we're
is just the
in
episode
like
where I pitch Discord only to everybody.
yeah,
Oh, I
this is
hated
how we
Discord.
start the conversation.
I would not be opposed to leaving Reddit just because I don't like what Reddit has been up
That would
to
be I think that's my
lately.
one thing too. Yeah.
What's wrong with Reddit?
So obviously they're approaching their IPO and they're trying to monetize everything as much as possible, and they announced
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to start paywalling certain subreddits.
What the fuck? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was announced like a week ago, maybe?
Yeah, good luck with that, assholes.
You can go see the Donald, but you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Shoot, what am I
Oh,
gonna do
man.
now? Oh god.
Here's the thing: Reddit does not like it's not technologically like, super advanced. So if they start fucking with it, somebody else will make one. I mean, I guess there's the whole
Yeah.
like, well, the community's there already, and that's what they're banking on. But
How much of the
people don't care that
community
much.
is how much of the community is Chat GPT bots now?
Yeah, who knows?
75%.
I mean, that's the reason Twitter still is hanging on, though, is they have enough of a user base already built up before all of their
Yeah.
mess.
Well, the other reason Twitter's hanging on is because a lot of people have built their career out of being there, and so there's still like money and value because people with money are not willing to depart from something they've been working for the past 10 years. Like journalism is still like huge on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only place where you can get quick, takes.
Sports news.
Um,
It's like
Oh
That's
my
the only reason I
god,
have it,
yes.
yep.
I
That's why
was
I have.
I was trying to quit Twitter for so long, but then I was like, I don't get sports news anywhere else. This is the only place where I can easily find what I'm trying to look for.
Yeah, I was
Especially
very
'cause
sick
it's
of
quick.
watching a Braves broadcast at night, and then all of a sudden there's a player that I had no clue had been called up, but like,
Yep.
just because didn't see it on Twitter.
that's
Do you
it's
guys not
the
get
best place for that.
notifications from the MLB app?
I'll have it turned off.
I have
There
all
you
that
go.
stuff off, yeah.
That's
Try to
why.
turn off.
No, but they spam me with all the shit I don't care about.
Yeah.
You can set it to where it's just notifications for your team.
So
Yeah, you
in
can do
my
team news.
fantasy baseball league, by the time the news has gone through the MLB push notification, it's already too late to pick up the player.
Okay,
You have
yeah.
to-
So for fantasy,
Yuck.
that's definitely important.
Should we start the podcast?
I think
We already did.
Oh, have we?
Oh
Okay.
damn! When do we start?
Welcome to the top of the 10th, everyone. Is this episode 4, technically?
Call it 3.5. You
I
guys
think
don't
it
get a
is.
full episode for the last one.
Well, we talked when you and Copernicus go back and hear like what the back half of that was about. Yeah, that might because it was all about how we're gonna fund coleslaw to go to all of these baseball games, or at least one baseball game in Japan.
Yeah, because
Oh.
the dollar
like-
to the yen is so imbalanced that
Yeah,
we could, for like
Oh.
the cost of a cup of coffee, we could send Cole to a baseball game.
Because I
Yeah,
I
let's
only
do it.
earn like the equivalent of $13,000 a year.
Damn, I think unemployment is paying me more than that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
it probably is.
Well, well, let's send you to a baseball game. They're so fun there.
Well, the
Yeah, I
problem
could,
is that
uh,
it's so far, he might not be able to get there and back in time.
Yeah.
Well,
That's-
yeah, the solution would be to go like on a weekend and get like
Yeah.
a hotel for one night, which would not be all that expensive. But yeah, I could not make it a day trip probably unless it were a particularly early game or I had like somebody that was willing or I got a taxi, I guess. If I got a taxi on the way home, that would be
Kat
fine.
be willing? Would she be excited to do that?
To go to a baseball game? Yeah, I already asked her.
Oh, cool.
She's like, well, I mean, yeah, I would go. No, she would want to go.
I mean, and staying at a hotel overnight, that would be fun.
Yeah. She also told me not to bring it up again. So to
Not
you
to bring-
guys, of course.
Well-
She said don't beg for money.
You didn't at all.
I don't
and
think you
will
did.
vouch
Yeah,
for that.
I think it was us.
It was totally me spearheading that.
Well, for
If you want, you can tell Kat to yell at me about it. That's fine.
Okay, I'll tell her.
Well, tell Cat it's for us. You just benefit from it.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, now we're gonna be on to CJ's question for all of us.
Wait.
Yeah.
I
Before
think
that,
we are. Oh,
is Kat a partner on Twitch yet?
No, she has not reached affiliate status because she only has 30 something followers. Yeah. So we're
How many do you need?
You need 50 to get to affiliate, and then she
Okay.
could start potentially getting some subscriptions.
Bits.
Yeah.
All right.
What does Cat stream?
All kinds
she's
of
been
fun stuff.
She's been streaming a lot of Sims 4 recently. She had been doing some Slay the Spire, and she will probably do some Animal Crossing stuff and some other games that we find.
Well, let me know if she needs some Sims stuff because my girlfriend works on The Sims.
What?
So that
What?
what
yeah,
the fuck?
Yeah, remember growing up with my
What?
girlfriend
Like at Max's?
at Maxis, yeah.
What the fuck?
So
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
some
know.
Sim stuff. She's been
Oh, let
playing
me know.
Sims 4 a lot.
Let me know. I can get free expansion packs. I'm sure there's
Yes.
like
I've spent so much money on expansion packs
Oh,
lately
God.
because it's how I keep her off of Roblox.
because why do you want to keep
Well,
that whole-
okay, nice.
Because Roblox is terrible. It's just bad games and bad
Oh, really?
people, bad actors.
Oh shit. Wow. I almost
They-
got a job at Roblox, but turned him down. Which I shouldn't have done, by the way.
There's been a ton of horror stories and news stories lately of like the mods and like game managers at Roblox being aware of nefarious things happening and not booting the person off or responding to reports even when there was documentation with it. And then now eventually that person was arrested and charged with horrible things. There was another one where like a murder was involved and crazy stuff like that. So
there
been trying
You
to-
guys.
there was a big case about that where someone found out that a bunch of like game creators were essentially using child labor to make their games.
yes.
And I think Roblox sued the person who made a YouTube video about it. I don't remember what happened, but that was a huge story in like 2022, I think.
There was just a recent one about this guy who had kidnapped like this 16-year-old girl. That he
Oh my
had-
god.
Yeah, awful things. So I'm trying to keep her off Roblox as much as possible, and Sims 4 seems to do the trick. But that
Nice.
also means buying her expansion packs to keep her interested. So let's chat about that, Copernicus.
So I've got some interesting stories because I went to Roblox. I interviewed with them a couple of times, and one thing that they had that was kind of weird for me. I mean, I like kids. I was camp counselor for a long time, so like I used to do helping out with teens who like needed help, that kind of thing in college. Anyway, so I went there. Anyways, it's important to me. That's what I'm getting at. But I went to Roblox to interview, and there was just a room that they had, big room, and there was just a bunch of kids sitting in there on their computers, and they were like, "Oh yeah, these are our builders and residents." I'm like, "Oh, what does that mean?" And they're like, "Okay, well they make like very good games, and we invite them to come sit here and work." And I'm like, "What?" It seemed so, I mean, look, it was probably above board, or else they wouldn't have just talked openly about it like that. But it seemed such a slippery slope to be like, yeah, we put them in this office with other adults. We let them work on the games that will make our company money, and in turn, we give them free food and drink, and like maybe some support from like our devs. And I was like, that is so weird. They are children. And right now
Not
you're
good.
putting them in a corporate environment, and they nobody thought twice about it. I think because the kids were just happy to be there. I mean, kids like attention, you know. But I was like, you are doing something strange, and that was a few years ago. I can only imagine where it's gone now. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is I used to work on a game called Sansar, which was a metaverse game, and it was at the company called Linden Lab. Linden Lab is famous for Second Life. Second
Yeah.
Life,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
huge. Okay, so crazy shit about Second Life. I don't think this is a surprise, and I mean I loved working there, and I thought the people there were good people. So I'll just get that out of the way first. But the community, it was one. It's huge, and they've got an entire world right built in Second Life, and
Yeah.
they do all kinds of shit. And Second Life's whole thing is you can do whatever you want here. But what that means is they had people like trafficking drug money, trafficking people, like this all stuff, and they were working very hard to stop that kind of thing from happening. But it just like it was so strange what people will try to do, like conmen or criminals will try to like go through to launder their money. There are people who make millions of dollars in Second Life based on the content they create. Millions. I'm not joking. And so anyway, they have to let that economy go because it's so vibrant and it's like one of the biggest online economies to ever exist. And but there's such crazy shit that happens that you never hear about because the team works really hard at snuffing it out. Not the story, but
Yeah.
the activity. But also, Second Life has like you can mod your entire body. So you've got your character, right? But you can go to the Second Life store and buy private parts, genitals. And the genitals have like 45 different functions. So if you have a penis, you can get like you can have it have an erection. You can have it like shrink. You can have it grow to the size of your character. It can be pierced. It can look like a dragon penis. You know, like there's all it peas. It does everything a regular penis can do and more. Like everything is there. So it's such a weird environment that anybody can basically have access to because it's just an online game. Anyway, those kinds of online communities, Roblox fits into this, I think. Second Life, any sort of thing like that, the metaverse in general.
VR chat.
There's so much VR chat, playroom, playground, whatever it was called. All fucking wild shit going down online that you just never hear about. Anyway, this is a good baseball podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I bet there's baseball going on in Second Life.
There has to
There
be. Wait a minute.
There is.
Are we moving MLR to Second Life?
Think
Yeah.
about
Holy
how
shit.
much we could make with an MLR. Second Life. We'd be so
Just
rich, guys.
Pay $20 to hit a single.
Exactly.
They have entire stadiums and stuff built. You can buy a stadium that somebody built for like $400 on Second Life, and then put it in the land that you own, and you could have a baseball team. Yeah,
That's insane.
it's crazy. I'll
So
send you all a
definitely on a
link.
baseball subject. What on earth do you actually do in The Sims? Help me understand.
Okay, so it's you take control of a family and you can create and customize them however you want. Then you build them a house, and it's all based on constraints of how much cash they have, and they have to get jobs. And uh, you know, you're basically just it's like Barbie Dream House, except in a video game and with somewhat real life constraints like hunger, boredom,
Okay.
money, and
And
things like
you
that.
like manage like your relationships with people. You make friends. You like, seek out romantic partners. You have a career, and you can like have children and raise the children and take care of them, and then like eventually the sim that you started out with or the sims you started out with will die, and then you keep playing as their children, and you just like
Gotcha.
you just simulate a life basically.
And so what my daughter does is she'll just like put in the cheat for like max money and then just go to town building them a giant mansion. And then she'll like narrate to herself stories because she watches YouTubers who play The Sims and they do this. They'll like narrate it as if it was a TV show, and she kind of does that to her in her own head as she plays. But it's basically like playing Dollhouse.
Okay. That makes sense, and I can see why people would enjoy that.
Yeah.
There's actually a new game coming out soon, based kind of on the same premise, but it looks even cooler. I forget what the name of it is. It's on my Steam wish list, but
Well,
Cool. Okay.
should we start the baseball podcast?
yes,
No,
it's
no,
called,
no, no, no,
No,
no.
no, no.
it's
This
called
is
No, no,
Sims
no.
4 podcast now.
I'm audibling
You're
my
right.
topic. What's
Oh,
your
let's
favorite
go.
video game right now?
Oh.
Oh.
I love Civilization. It's my favorite franchise of all time. I've played all of them except for number 1. 7 is coming out soon. We just got all the information about it. I'm so fucking hyped for it. I'm like going back and playing Civ 6. So that's coming out soon. I think that will be great. But currently, I'm spending a lot of time playing this game called Hell Let Loose,
I
and
saw
it's like
you
a
playing
World
that.
War
Yeah.
II. It's fucking awesome. I joined a clan, and I've got a lot of free time right now, so I'm just like hanging out and doing that kind of thing. And but that's been pretty cool. It's been one of the best gaming experiences I've had in a long time. Just because I'm playing with other people. There's strategy involved. The game is like pretty realistic. I'm really really digging it. MLB The Show has fallen off for me though.
I was playing the new Elden Ring DLC, and I just sort of realized that I value my time more
Yeah.
seeing the way the story plays out. So kind of in between, but I'm waiting for the new Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. That's
Ooh,
gonna
I
be my
saw
big
that.
jam when that comes out. I just started playing this indie game called Arco. It's really fun. It's like a turn-based RPG. Has like kind of like a old western, or maybe even like South American, like like the mountains of Argentina type vibe, that sort of a thing. And it's pixel graphics. It's really fun. It's turn-based combat. So I've been vibing with that a little bit, and I'm always down to play some Balatro. That's probably my favorite like way to pass a few hours.
What's Balatro? What is that?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So Balatro is a deck building roguelike where the cards of the deck are poker cards, like regular playing cards. And the whole gimmick to it is you're getting like special status effects that can change, like special power-ups and various jokers. And so the jokers can change certain things, like can make flushes with like all red cards instead of just like all hearts or something like that. So along those lines, it's very simple to learn, really, really difficult to master, and highly, highly addictive.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, Balatro is on my wish list, but I don't have it yet. I'm excited to try it out eventually.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I guess I'll go for myself. I'm still a Rocket League addict. I'll hit Grand Champ one day, but I'll be Champ 3 forever. It is what it is. Lately we have had the summer Minecraft server going with me and my friends, as always. And we're playing FTB Skies. It's my first time playing like a Sky Factory mod pack, and it's been entertaining. It's a lot. It's very grindy, and I don't know how I feel about it. And we're probably gonna never play it again in about 2 weeks. So, about 2 weeks from recording this, Satisfactory 1.0 comes out, and that will eat my entire life away.
Yeah.
And other than that, that's NCAA football 25 lately. Just lost in week 12 of my dynasty to get out of the playoffs. So that was brutal. But
the one thing that makes me sad about converting to a PC only guy is I don't know when I will play the new game. I'm so upset that it's not. I hope it comes to PC, or I'm gonna need to spend $500 to play a single game. But it might be that might be a risk I am willing to take.
I've given up on EA Sports games. It is not worth it.
What's the issue with them?
They suck.
They all suck, yeah.
They're all the exact same game. It's been the same game
Yeah.
since 2013.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's basically the show.
There's a lot of games like that.
Yeah, pretty much all AAA series releases.
Yeah.
What have I been playing? I've been with the news of the new Civ. Me and my friends play a lot of Civ 5. So we've gotten
Not 6?
back. No, we prefer 5 more. I have over 1,000 hours in Civ 5.
Nice.
So we've been playing that. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot. I'm a big MMO guy. So
What do you guys think about the civilization switching in 7?
I feel like it'll be cool. There's a game called Humankind that kind of does that same thing. Which I played Humankind a bit. So I like that they're trying to embrace newer ideas and to not just have the same game. But then at the same time, you're gonna get the way these Civ cycles always go is the new game comes out, everyone thinks it's shit until like 4 or 5 expansions come out, and then they're like, "Oh, we've loved this game since the first day," and I'm like, "No, you haven't. Everyone used to hate this game."
You still play Civ 5.
I still play Civ 5. Because the thing for me with from Civ 5 to 6, they changed a lot of stuff. That it feels the way buildings work in Civ 6 is kind of like how Stellaris works by Paradox, which I'm not a huge fan of that too, but still Stellaris to me is still fun. But with the mods that me and my friends play with Civ 5, it's really hard to let go. And I have friends that are like, "Oh, all the newer games suck," and I'm like, "Well, if no one will go to 6, then I'll just stay on 5 then." But I've been playing that. What else have I been playing? The new Risk of Rain 2 expansion comes out, I think. Soon. Yeah.
I gotta play some more
So
of
it's
that.
fun. Oh, and I restarted Baldur's Gate 3. So I am a Dark Urge druid currently in Act 2 right now.
Very nice.
That has eaten up more time than I would like to say it has in the last week.
What's been your biggest video game disappointment over the last couple of years?
Oh God.
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield, 100%.
I never cared for Starfield. I don't know,
I
like
haven't really played
even
a
when
Bethesda
like
game.
seeing it. Mine is probably the Borderlands Wonderland.
Oh, Tiny
I had
Tina's Wonderland.
yeah, Tiny Tina's. I had so much hope for that because I loved Borderlands 1 and 2, and then 3 was okay, but then they just completely missed with this one, and it was so sad.
And the DLC for 2 was so good.
Oh yeah. So that might be my biggest miss for sure.
Copernicus, did you see they added ground-based vehicle travel in Starfield recently?
Yeah, that took too fucking long. Jesus Christ. What have they been doing? I don't know. Yeah, I gave up on Star. I played really hardcore for a month, and I'm like, because I was like forcing myself to like it. I was like, you will get into this, you will get into this, and man, it was so boring. And I was like, I just have been looking forward to it for so long. I took like 2 days off of work so I could play it, and god damn, so bad.
I just eventually got so sick of waiting for like loading screens and go through a door, loading screen, enter the building, loading screen, go back through the door, loading screen. It was just too much. I was like, it's wasting my time. Any game that doesn't respect my time, I don't respect the game.
Well, the story sucked, and like, even even like certain things that would happen. Like I tried to join the Crimson Raiders, whatever the fuck they're called, and like they did all their missions, and like once I was in, I was like, oh, it sucks. And then I couldn't go to certain systems because they were inexplicably at war with blah blah blah, and I was like, I don't, and then I had to keep running away from shit, and I was like, I don't know, dude. I come on.
Well, you try to
I don't
join
know.
the pirates, so that like that explains a little bit.
Yeah, but like there, I just whenever I went to like a system, I had to run away from stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't know. It makes sense, I guess, but also there wasn't enough about being on the pirate team or the faction that made that worth it. Like
Yeah, no.
it just made the game suck as opposed to more fun.
I think we
Just
still need to go over what games Cole has been playing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not much.
All right,
I
next question.
no, I have not had a lot of time. I have been playing Pokemon Go a lot. But in terms of like games, I've started another Stellaris game
Let's
just
go.
yesterday. And I mean, there are some games that I would like to be playing if maybe I had the focus for them. Does anybody like mystery games?
Like what kind?
Like
Like social deduction?
no, like a murder mystery or a like a kind of a puzzle, like a narrative puzzle game.
I like those games.
I played
Okay.
Firewatch, and that was the last one I played.
Okay, yeah. So Firewatch is kind of related. I like ones that are a little bit more directly like there is like a concrete mystery here to be solved, whether it's a murder or a like like detective games kind of.
Yep.
So some of you have probably already played this. Return of the Obra Dinn is a
Yeah,
game
it's a
that I
great
I
game.
wish I could erase it from my memory and play it again for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I've
But I
never even
can't.
heard of that game.
Okay, well,
Same.
you need it.
Return of the what?
Return of the Obra Dinn. I will send it to
Obra
you.
I would just send it in our chat because I'm intrigued by
Yeah.
it too.
I will do that.
It's
if
really
Oh,
good.
I
you,
I
found
can
it.
vouch.
I found it.
Did you
Yeah,
play
it-
Outer Wilds, Cole?
I have not played Outer Wilds yet.
Oh, you got to play Outer Wilds. You would
Okay,
love
I've got to play Outer Wilds. I will put that on my wish list as well.
it. And did you play? What was the several years ago? It's like the big detective game, RPG game.
Disco Elysium, which I started.
Yes.
I have not had the time to like actually properly get into it, but yeah, I do have it. I am going to play it. So yeah, that's another legendary one, obviously. But there are some lesser known ones that I think are worth mentioning as well, like Paradise Killer,
Okay.
which is if you enjoy a vaporwave aesthetic and
Yep.
like very uh I don't know what the word for their storytelling is, but the lore of Paradise Killer is very unique. I will say that.
It's like demonic
So-
possession and stuff.
Um, weirdly, yes. I don't quite know how you got to that point, but there's
I'm looking at the Steam page.
okay. So the people in Paradise Killer, all of the suspects are immortal. Well, immortal in the sense that they live forever, but they can be killed. They're immortal beings that are in service to what they call gods that are actually like they're gods in the sense of like Cthulhu. They're like cosmic beings. They're aliens. And they run these islands that are I'm trying to remember what the purpose of them is, but they're supposed to be making paradise. That's why it's called Paradise Killer. But every time it fails, for some reason or another. So they're running these islands that are being built by basically slaves that they have kidnapped from Earth, that are regular humans. And as they are going to turn over from one version of the island to the next, all of the humans get sacrificed and they move on. But this time, for whatever reason, something bad has happened, and several of these immortal beings have been murdered. And so you are trying to figure out who of the other immortal beings who were previously your acquaintances and friends could have possibly done this. And there's a whole like island to explore with evidence everywhere, and you have to like talk to everybody about the evidence. And it's all got amazing music. The soundtrack is fantastic, and it's just brilliant. It's so underrated, and absolutely everybody should play it because it's a wild experience, and the end is also equally wild.
Very cool. I just remember that Tactical Breach Wizards comes out today. Might have to try that.
Oh, I just saw that on my homepage.
Oh,
That
I have a
sounds
game
cool.
that you might like that I played and absolutely loved. Two, actually, two different ones.
Okay.
First one is the Life and Suffering of what's it called? God. The Life and
Sir
Suffering of
Bronte.
Yes, that game was awesome. I had so much fun with that.
Okay.
And then there is another game. Looking for it. I can never remember things. I saw in chats today there was a discussion about Damon like didn't realize he had ADHD until someone in one of the teams was like, "You might want to get checked." And now I'm thinking to myself, like, I was looking at some of those symptoms, and well, looks a little close. Okay, the other game is The Pale Beyond, which is like, I don't know if you saw, the show of like The Terror on AMC, the first season, where
I
it's about
didn't watch it, but I know what it's about.
Yeah, so it's like that. You're on a ship traveling to, the Arctic, and you get stuck, and you're the captain, and you have to try to figure out how to keep your crew alive and like figure out what's going on in the story. So it's like day by day, you're making decisions that impact how the game plays out. It's really fun.
That does sound really interesting, and it reminds me of a because we talked about social deduction, just mentioned it briefly when I started. But there's a game called Dread Hunger, which is a social deduction game about this like same scenario basically, which I think is pretty cool.
I'll have to check that out.
There was one other game I wanted to mention in the vein of detective games, and it is basically aside from Disco Elysium, the penultimate detective game, in that it's randomly generated or procedurally generated.
Minecraft.
Shadows of Doubt. No, not Minecraft. Shadows of Doubt.
How is
Vaguely
that?
Minecrafty because it's voxel based. Shadows of Doubt is a voxel based retro futuristic cyberpunk. Mildly cyberpunk. Game where it generates a city for you, which in the lore of Shadows of Doubt, the world is flooded from global warming, but it's also like the 80s. So cities are all on old oil rig platforms. So it's a clever way to keep the city contained to like, several blocks. You live on this oil rig. But in this game, every character is generated with an appearance, a name, all these traits and stuff. And anyone can, have like their own motivations and become a murderer, or commit some other crime, or like, most of the crimes people commit are murders, and then a lot of the other jobs are like, I need you to be a PI and like, like steal this thing for me from like this business or stuff like that. And then there's I think there's affairs that you can investigate now, and then maybe there's a kidnapping thing that I don't know if that's been released yet or if that's planned. I'm not sure. But you investigate murders of these like simulated, like generated people, and have to find out who in their life would have wanted to kill them. and then you go track them down and arrest them in a city that is different like for every new game you play. And it just keeps going. Like once a murder happens, like some time will pass. You'll do some side jobs and other stuff, and then another one will be reported, and you'll run to the crime scene and like find the victim and try to figure out who killed them.
That sounds pretty cool.
Sounds interesting.
I
We're gonna have to
really
drop
I've
all the
not-
links to this in the description of the video. You know
Okay,
that.
yeah.
We
I've not done
you-
it justice, but
you
it's
know
a really
what
cool game.
that us five should try to rotate like between four players and do? We
What?
should play. We should have four of us play Chained together.
Looks
I
brutal.
think it'd make for a really fun, because we've talked about trying to find a game that like some of us could do and just have like kind of a sort of MLR gameplay thing. I feel like that would be really fun.
You
I'd
know
try
what?
it.
I will let you four do that.
We can't find time to record a podcast, let alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was like,
Maybe someday we could do it.
Can we do? Is there like a pass and play? I guess you could do pass and play Civ.
Oh my pass and play Civ.
that'd be interesting.
That'd be
Yeah.
a fun one.
It only
That
takes
would
3
that would
minutes to
make
play.
for very
Should be
good
fun.
content, I don't think.
No, that would
I've
just be
never
fun
played
for
Civ
us.
with anybody else.
Wow, you've never played a multiplayer game of Civ?
No, I played by myself since Civ 2.
Ooh, you're missing
That's
out.
dedication.
I just don't want to fuck with other people.
I don't think I've ever played a single player game of Civ.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, it's fun. Obviously.
So one game I'm really, really looking forward to is The Altars.
The Altars, never heard of that either.
It's supposed to be coming out a little bit later this year. There was a demo on Next Fest recently. I'll have to link it, but it's like you are a guy traveling to a planet to extract
Oh, wow.
resources, and your crew basically all dies. And so you're alone trying to figure out how to survive, and the way to do that is to build a new crew using other versions of yourself that you extract from other dimensions by
That's so cool.
like splintering off
Oh, it's the
of...
Frostpunk devs. Oh my god. I need
Yes.
this game.
Oh, it's them. Okay.
It's
that
them.
makes
This War of
that makes
Mine
so
and
much
Frostpunk.
sense.
Holy
That makes so
shit.
much sense. That is them.
It's incredible because like you go and access your core memories, and then by branching off those decisions, you're creating other altars with different backgrounds that
Oh god, now I need
That's
the
sick.
Thaumaturge too. Oh no, my wallet.
Isn't Frostpunk 2 coming out soon?
Frostpunk 2 is
Yes.
coming out soon.
Yeah. I love
21st
this
of September.
War of Mine.
I
That's
don't know
one
if
of
I've
my
ever heard of
all-time
Frostpunk.
favorite games.
oh, and
You
Colt,
never heard of Frostpunk? Oh
I
man.
don't think so.
your whole like mystery games. Have you played The Invincible?
I have not played The Invincible, no.
So that's like your it's like retro futuristic type, like if you went forward from a point in the 1950s to the future,
hmm
and you're like discovering this planet, but you're all alone and you're trying to figure out what happened to the previous crew. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's going on the wish list.
It's kind of like a walking simulator, but it's gorgeous.
Wow. I mean, I enjoy those. This team is so talented. How do they? Oh, that's the okay. They published that one. They didn't develop that one, but still. Hold on. I gotta. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, I thought Thaumaturge looked really cool too. I haven't played it though.
Okay, yeah. So they publish The Invincible, but they developed This War of Mine and Frostpunk and obviously
The
Frostpunk 2
Altars. Yeah.
and The Altars. Yeah. Man, there's some good shit coming up.
Yep, definitely. A little bit of a lull right now, but good stuff is coming.
What else is on my if we're talking about upcoming games, let me see what else is on my wish list that's not out yet.
I have a bunch of games that are like don't know if they're still happening or really far in the future, like Blight Survival. That game looks really cool. And Showa American Story was a game that was like teased several years ago, and it's like traveling RPG action adventure type of game, but takes place in the US, but it's like if the US had been conquered by Japan, and then you go into the future from there. So it's like all kinds of cool like landmarks that have been like redone with Japanese flair. The game looked pretty crazy too. It's like zombies and the girl carrying a giant drill as a weapon, classic stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
I don't actually have much on my wish list that's not out, at least in early access at this point.
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff that I keep in there just to get a notification if like goes on sale. I was looking forward to game Dark and Darker, but I don't know. The reviews haven't been so great.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's okay.
Blight Survival is a medieval survival horror game, online co-op. Looks really cool.
Interesting. We need to play Hunt Showdown together.
I love Hunt. I'll play Hunt. I heard the newest update though broke a lot of things.
Oh, that's not great.
And they redid a lot of like the menu design and made it much worse.
Oh, okay.
So there's been complaints, but it's probably nothing that a few patches won't fix.
Yeah.
I also like to play Warhammer 40k Darktide.
Okay, yeah.
That game is fun. It's gotten to a place finally where it's starting to look like you can see what the end product should have looked like when it released.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that once Space Marine 2 comes out, I'm going to forget all about that.
I don't have Darktide. I've played Vermintide, or Vermintide 2.
All great games.
I'm a big fan of Blood Bowl 2.
Nice.
But I did not pick up Blood Bowl 3 for obvious reasons.
Yep.
Has it gotten any better?
I don't know.
No. No. Recent reviews, there's only 37 of them, and they are just as bad.
I'm interested in the new Star Wars game. But,
Outlaw?
Yeah,
Outlaw?
I
It's
just
just a show.
no. The Outlaw is the game. I'm just kind of like holding off for now. I want to see how it goes, see what the general consensus is before I dive in. I don't really pre-order games anymore. I've been burned too many times.
It's not available on Steam? Where is this?
What?
Outlaws.
It's Ubisoft, I want to say.
Ah, gross.
Yeah.
Ew.
Ubisoft, yeah. Total's got it.
I haven't played a Ubisoft game. Man, talk about like, did anyone here play the multiplayer in like the older Assassin's Creed games?
God, multiplayer Black Flag was so good.
It was so much fucking fun. Oh my god, those were amazing.
So much.
What, you didn't like the quadruple A version?
No, I don't. I don't like a quadruple A game coming out every 9 months, surprisingly. Man. Now I'm gonna go back soon and play Black Flag.
We've come
That game was so
full
good.
circle to to the AAA games reskinned every year conversation.
Yeah.
EA Sports, we just can't hide from them.
Well, that's why I like to do a lot of like indie games,
Yeah.
and then like Pacific Drive was one of my most favorite games of the year. I think that game was really fun. And then there is this tiny, tiny game. It's a pixel game. It's like very retro. It's I forget the name of it, but there's this like genre of old games where you are solving puzzles by pushing boxes. Apparently very popular in Japan, but the game that I've been playing is called Isles of Sea and Sky, and it's that style of a game. It's just like great soundtrack, great pixel art, and pretty compelling puzzles to solve.
Hmm.
How do you have time to play all of these different games? I mean, not
That's what
time,
I'm
but like,
wondering.
I'll tell
like
you, I nibble. I play
Ah.
games. I rarely finish games. Very rarely. I don't have the patience to go through like a 120-hour storyline. So I'll
Same,
play a
but
game.
I still don't have time to play different games.
Yeah, exactly. I have time. Like I have to pick two. I mean, right now I don't have a job, and I mean I'm doing like contract work, so it's like whatever. But the even now when I have like the most free time I've ever had in my adult life, I think I can probably just manage 4 games, and even then I feel like I'm like doing because I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3, MLB The Show, fucking what did I just say I was playing? Hell Let Loose,
Yep.
and
Civ.
and Civ, yeah, exactly. And even then, I'm like, well, fuck. I mean, how can I do anything? You know, like what? I don't even
Do you
have.
want-
I don't even know. I
Do
mean,
you
my
want to know
day.
the secret?
Yeah.
The secret is my wife and I like to watch different things, but we both like to lay in bed at the same time of night. So
Uh-huh.
I'll play on my Steam Deck while she watches her stories.
Okay, so my girlfriend and I have two. We have 2 living rooms because we're both gamers, and so we don't have a dining room. So basically, she sits in one room and plays games, and I sit in the other room and I play games. And so I do have that. Like I don't have to spend time with my girlfriend. I mean, I do, but we talk to each other while we're playing games. It's not like it's separate. But even with that, I still don't. I mean, I guess I do comedy and I guess I'm doing other stuff. So I guess I have other stuff. But like, geez, I can't even keep track of all the games you guys are talking about. And I work in gaming, or I worked in gaming. I'm just impressed. I'm impressed positively.
Pretty wild. So work in gaming. Girlfriend is also a gamer. You have two
Also
separate
works in
living rooms.
gaming.
Yeah.
Also, it's
Yeah,
creative.
she
You
also
do
works in-
comedy, writing comics. It seems like the perfect life,
Every-
except you don't get to play games.
Every
I mean, I do
goddamn
feel like-
story that comes out of Copernicus's mouth, I'm like, no way. Like each time we talk, I learn something new, and I'm like,
That's the
I'm
coolest
like,
thing ever.
how is
Yeah.
this? It's everything. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Over and over again.
What was cool that time?
I don't remember. Sorry.
You have 2 living rooms.
Yeah, you have 2 living rooms, man. That's so cool.
Well, sort of. It's just we just here's the opposite side of that is we don't have a dining room because we just made it into a living room. So that means like we don't have anywhere
Oh.
to eat. So like I don't have
So-
a big house.
We
In
eat on the
my
couch
house-
anyway. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
We
that's
have
what
a-
we do.
We have a dining room with a fancy table and like all the crystal in the hutch that I'm not allowed to eat dinner at. It's like the
Nice.
Oh,
opposite.
yeah.
That's
Are
why
you a
we chose
messy
not
eater,
to have-
DVD?
What?
Are you a messy eater?
No, it's just like I want to keep the table nice. This is, my wife. She's like,
okay,
you
I see.
can't. Don't put something on it without the tablecloth on it. Don't do this. Don't do that. We need a pad for the table to put the tablecloth on top of the pad, like all that.
And we
stuff.
use it twice a year at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then we don't
Exactly.
look at it the rest of the year.
Correct.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just like put a case on it or something. Just like,
Well, and
just make it a museum exhibit, and then you open it up twice a year. And...
we have like a small little like mini kitchen table, like a breakfast table type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we do most of our eating. Or we have like so instead of we have an island, but instead of like where the stove juts out, it's a peninsula part of the countertops. So we can eat there at the mini like breakfast bar and stuff like that. So
I see.
not really a reason to, but sometimes it's nice to sit in the front room and at the fancy table and eat dinner, but no, we're not allowed.
There's something about having a table in like a central space that I miss because I've always had, I mean, basically always had one. But like, like when I want to sit, the couches, this is going to sound so fucking weird, I think, but couches suck after a while. Like I just want to sit up and and put like a book on a table so I can read a comic book or a book at a table. Right now, there's no space.
100% understand that, because I'll sit at my breakfast bar in like the high top stool every morning, drink my coffee, read a graphic novel, or look at my phone, do stuff on MLR, whatever is going on, and that's where I'll sit until it's like time to work, and then I'll go upstairs and work. Because you can't just like sit low and comfy all the time. Sometimes you need to feel upright and engaged.
Yeah, thank God you said so. I felt like I was so weird when I was about to say it. I'm like,
No.
This is a weird opinion to have. But yeah, sitting upright and engaged is so important. And again, I think I feel it especially now because I'm just home all the time. But yeah, I need somewhere to be up. It's weird.
See, I've always been someone who, like, when I read, which I don't read all too much now, but like I always need to be in like the most like in my most comfy spot, which like it might be like outside under a tree or like in bed and stuff. Like I could not sit at my dining table and read anything. It just, I don't know why, but
See, if I'm at a computer, I have to be sitting up, but otherwise, I
yeah.
functionally never sit up.
Oh, weird. I need, so I think maybe I'm trying to think when this happened. When I was a kid, I used to read a ton, because I don't know what fucking I did, and I would always read out of the house because at home I'd be on the couch watching TV or playing a video game or something. So reading requires me to be in sort of a semi-uncomfortable position. I do read on the couch, but I get tired, or like my brain associates couch with like melt, like it's like we're not going to focus right now. So reading's hard on the couch, but I can do it at a table all day. If you give me like a picnic bench or something, I can read all day on that fucker.
I totally agree with you.
Have we gotten off topic enough for the episode?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're recording.
I forgot we were recording.
I actually forgot we were doing a podcast.
I can't read in bed, Copernicus. I totally feel you
fuck
on that.
No. I wouldn't even try.
Like, it's something weird. I don't know if it's in my brain or like psychosomatic or whatever, but if I'm looking up when I read, I can't process or like retain the information. If I'm looking down while I read, I retain the information much better.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's all about.
Well,
maybe it's from
exactly
writing
it.
notes and stuff in school. And...
Oh
yes,
yeah,
that's exactly it.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Because I know for me, like when I'm in bed, like I'll be sitting up to read. Like it's the thing that I would do before I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lay down now and turn off my lamp. Like it's like I move my pillow and stuff, so I'm still sitting up, and then I'll be done, shut the book, move my pillow down, and then I'll be horizontal then. But people like who can read on their side scare me.
Can't do it. I can't do it.
No.
You guys are crazy. That's the only way to live.
Oh my god.
I would
when I was a
prefer
kid,
to...
I could read on my stomach.
Yeah, I would prefer to lay on my stomach, maybe with like bent at the knees, with my feet up, something like that.
Kicking them back and forth.
Yeah.
Seriously.
On a swing.
With my
think when
spicy
I was
manga.
You said something about school, Dan. I think this is so important because, school, especially when you're in your 20s and like late teens, is still like a very formative time. And I was in school for like, literature and history and linguistics, and so it's all reading. It's just fucking reading. And if I had to go to a coffee shop or whatever, I had to sit up. I had to be in order to engage with the information like I needed to, to critically analyze, whatever I was reading. And I think that's really what cemented it.
I would agree. And all through law school, I would go to Borders Books Cafe and just sit there and
Yes.
read law books for like hours and hours and hours.
Rest in peace, Borders.
I know.
In peace. It was Starbucks for me, and I didn't even drink coffee. I just did it because I could be surrounded by people who were also working, and so that was also important for me.
Yep. So
I
I
years.
tried Starbucks, but because we had one of the like old Starbucks, it was all like couches and like super cushy chairs that you'd sit in, and then a really low like mini coffee table type deal. So that's why I went to Borders, because they had like real tables and stuff.
Yep, and those 90s Starbucks are killers. They sure are.
I think we might be at a good area to stop the podcast.
Wait, we need another like 3 tangents in here. So what have you guys been reading lately?
Oh God. Oh, no.
So I was at Newbury Comics last night, and I was trying to.
No,
find...
I really have to go. I have to.
No, I understand.
I have to
Shut up.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to episode 4 of Top of the 10th. I think next is going to be DVDs subject.
Yeah, we'll get something good going.
Something spicy.
It's going to be comics. He's going to get what he's going to tell you.
All right. Well, we will see.
Do I have to read
guys?
some comics before the next one?
Oh God, we might have to.
No.
Okay.
I've got it cooking. It's not that.
Right. Well, we will see you guys next time then.
Have a good
fun.
night, everybody.
Bye.
Cole, have a great morning.
Yeah.
Thanks.